Kevin and Roman, they got the game. Customer success is their claim to fame. On the podcast, they light the spark, elevating your skills, creating a mark. Let's dive deeper into the playbook, the secrets they share. No need to look from onboarding to retention. They've got it all, success is the goal.
All right, welcome to the Customer Success Playbook Podcast. Kevin is back from his trip to St. Louis. My co-host, Kevin Metzger. Kevin, how are you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. Excited to be home just because there were so many takeaways and so much stuff for me to go follow up on that I'm excited about everything that came out of it. It was a great trip.
So for our audience, if you didn't listen to our last couple episodes, Kevin, you were out in St. Louis for the Gainsight conference. Is that right?
That's correct.
Yep. So you were there I think you got there Tuesday and you came home Friday. So let's start with when you first get there, Kevin. Let's start with Tuesday. So I think you had a dinner that night, a reception. What did you do Tuesday when you got to town?
Yeah. So, James from, Atlanta Customer Success and one of our former guests and it was going out there and his company, Growth Molecules, and Amelia, who's the CEO of Growth Molecules, was also a guest.
Another guest, as I say, it's a couple guests there.
They were hosting a happy hour. So, got in the afternoon, checked into the conference, got my little tag for the weekend. I should have got that down here for any video, but got the tag and all that kind of stuff and registered. And then once we got in, went over to the happy hour, and there were just a ton of people there. Got to meet lots and lots of people at the happy hour. Got to meet and just have a lot of conversations. And it was just honestly, getting there and having that to do and going out and being able to meet people, it was a great experience to execute on and just get started and get into the conference.
That's a great idea by James to have that on the first. It sounds like, I guess the actual conference started Wednesday, about like the actual sessions started Wednesday, Kev. So to come and have something Tuesday, I think when you go to these conferences, at least for me, you want to, you want learnings, you want to take something back, right? Something you can incorporate, and then networking. So to start out with the nice networking and James is picking up the tab, that's not a bad way to start the conference, right?
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad at all.
So Wednesday's the first day of sessions, Kev. Let's start with Wednesday. What were the highlights for you in terms of sessions on Wednesday?
Yeah, so first it was Nick opened it up, right? And
looking dapper, by the way. I don't know. Nick's probably not listening, but man, did he look good? I saw the LinkedIn post.
Yeah, he's definitely
a better dresser than me. That goes without saying, Kev. He's definitely a better dresser than you and I.
Yeah, he's got some flair that I aspire. So, but they had a great session, talked a lot about what Gainsight's doing. A lot of it's focused on AI. Kind of did a demo of what they've got planned, and some of it, I guess, is in place and some of it's still on the roadmap. But it was a good session to listen to and hear what they have and what they're thinking about and where they're going. So that was great. I got to hear from a couple of very interesting people about things that they've been doing as well in the sessions. Vanessa Gotti talked she's a lead of customer success at OpenAI.
That's cool. I'm sure you were all over that. A little AI talk.
Yeah. She also presented in a session on Thursday that I attended. That was great as well. So it was very cool to hear her and her vision on the panel, with Nick, and then to hear her also on the panel as well. Yeah, that's awesome.
Hey, so I'm curious, how many people? This is you're not gonna have a real answer, so I'm gonna ask you to make up an answer. How many people do you think were Gainsight customers that were there, Kev, versus people like just interested in customer success and wanted to learn more about the space or network?
So, I will tell you that there were some people that were there, like that I met, that I know that were there, that were interested in the space and the network.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of the vendors some of them are directly in the space. Calendarly was there. They, are associated with the space.
Yeah.
So you kind of have that. And then
Kevin and Roman, they they got the game. Customer success is their claim to fame. On the podcast, they light the spark, elevating your skills, creating a mark. Let's dive deeper into the playbook, the secrets they share. No need to look from onboarding to retention. They've got it all. Success is the goal, gonna stand tall. With each episode, they share their views, strategies and tactics that you can use. From challenges to triumphs, they cover it all, helping you navigate when you hit a wall. So tune in now and join the quest. Kevin and Roman put you to the test, empowering your journey in customer success. With insights and wisdom, you'll be the best. Helping you navigate when you hit a wall. So tune in now and join the quest.
I think the large majority are customers or
Okay.
potential customers, and then there are a few other folks that were there to network, to to meet people. There are recruiters there. There are people who are looking to hire. There are people who are looking for jobs there. I think there was all kinds
Yeah,
of
that's
folks
cool.
there for various reasons.
Yeah. No, I was just curious. I was thinking about it as you were talking about the opening, and, the keynote with what's coming on the roadmap, et cetera. And I'm assuming, my guess was it was probably heavy client. So, as someone that wasn't there, Kev, you've heard, I know it sounds like you went to a bunch of sessions on AI, about like where AI is getting incorporated in the space. For us that were we couldn't make it out there. Like what did you hear that you wanted to share with people like myself and our audience in terms of where is AI? Like anything jump out at you like, oh wow, that sounds new, or that sounds exciting that we haven't talked about in the show before?
Yeah. I think LinkedIn did a presentation, and there were two people from LinkedIn that were presenting, and they talked about two things. They talked about, one was basically how they prioritize projects, and because one person was sitting on the prioritization committee, he was kind of, I think, the head of CS, and then the other person was also a leader in CS, but she had a project proposal. So they talked about the project that she went through and proposed, as well as the format they used for prioritizing projects and looking at AI things and how they were making their decisions. And one of the key takeaways from him was, look, a lot of stuff's coming at you. When you prioritize, you want to look at your big bets, you want to look at your home runs, what are your small wins. You're going to take ultimately you want to select from that bunch a few of each potentially to determine what you're going to do and look at the costs associated. He talked about how you kind of categorize projects and put some hard numbers around the project, so you're kind of evaluating fairly and looking at the return and all that from the same kind of perspective. And then he talked about the fact that really you got to take 80 to 90% of the proposed projects and realize that those are junk and throw them out.
Yeah.
So
I like that they kind of walk you through their project kind of submittal process, how projects, go from getting, submitted to getting killed, to even sometimes it sounds like making it to funding or proof of concept, whatever it may be. That's interesting.
Yeah. So I thought that was good. And then really the project that they implemented and talked about, they called Project Stitch. And really it was about how you bring personalized guidance at scale, right? So how do you use AI? Overall project and discussion was interesting. That's talked about how much time they spent working on honing the prompt and how they put the information around to get the prompts right and all that, and how they worked on really training it so that it doesn't hallucinate and give bad data, etc. On top of that, what I found really interesting is they actually have two algorithms that after they get So once they, and she said there was a lot of testing in the process and trying to get through and build it, and trying to make it right. But ultimately, they were still not at like generating 100% responses that they felt comfortable with being able to send customers from an automations process. So they built two additional tools to actually evaluate the results and determine whether or not it was good or needed to be thrown out. But now you've got a decision-making tree that allows you to actually say, hey, these are the things we're looking for. We don't see that, throw that out. It wasn't generated properly. Now go regenerate one and see whether it comes out properly. So you automate the process and it gets the approval, and it's an automation of approval that you can send out.
Man, that's awesome. And the fun part being part of a big company where you can start to invest in stuff like that, right? Like that's pretty cool.
Well,
so you talk.
Here's the thing. I think some of that stuff is understanding the projects and where they're doing them at big companies also allows you to figure out how you might be able to do some of that stuff in the smaller companies as well. Which
it'll eventually come down. All of that stuff starts.
Yep.
You got to fund it somehow, right? And then it all gets scaled at some point, right? So. I'll look forward to it in 2036. That'll be awesome. So, actually, it'll be much faster. Technology changing so fast.
It'll be much
Things
faster.
are here and there. May have taken me until then, years ago. Now you can accelerate that time, probably next year, right? 2 years from now, it'll be so much faster. So Kev, they've then like, drinking game. If you hear this word, you got to drink. Would AI be the word at the Gainsight conference you would have had to drink the most with, or was it personalization? What was the trendy word at the conference?
So tell a story. My celebration for coming home from the conference, which we actually planned this way back when, but we took the kids to see Zach Brownman, Kenny Chesney on Saturday night. We're sitting in the stands. I wasn't there while this happened, but the girl in front of us was so drunk, my wife ended up having to go get a security guard to go to check on her, and whatever. That's how drunk I'd have been. If I was taking a shot every time I heard the word AI.
Yeah. Not shocking that AI was the most trendy word used, and not shocking that someone was absolutely hammered at a Kenny Chesney concert. Both are about as shocking as the sun coming up this morning, right? So I know you saw James out there. You saw Amelia. Any other guests? Any other former guests you ran into when you were out there, Kev?
Julie.
You saw Julie Fox?
Julie Fox.
Has a new gig, so I know she probably just started, right? So probably a little too early to hear how that's going, but she is awesome in person as she was as a guest.
She's incredible. Julie and I had a great conversation. We had lunch together. I talked with her about her search and how that went and all of that. And
she's the best, man.
She's fantastic. Just great conversation and great to talk to.
Yeah, if you're listening to the show,
just as helpful in person as she was in the podcast.
Yeah, if you're not following her on LinkedIn, follow her on LinkedIn. She's like a must follow. She has the best posts. She's the best content. I am jealous you met her out there. Julie, if you're listening, I'm taking a rain check. I'll see you at the next big CS event hopefully soon. So Kev, what else? What other highlights from the week? Anything else you want to touch on from the big trip to St. Louis?
Yeah, I mean, so really both days, great conferences or great sessions. Yeah, I did sit in, it was such a cool coincidence. I sat in the Jay Nathan session on CSPNL, or actually it wasn't CSPNL. It was understanding customer success from the perspective of a P&L. But it was a coincidence that earlier in the day I had retaken Dave Jackson's CSPNL clip and posted it to the site. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And then got to sit in a session and listen to Jay talk about it. And Jay, he really helped you understand how certain changes actually impact the P&L.
Yeah.
And by increasing average revenue per customer, what the impact is, or increasing gross revenue margin per customer, the impacts, basically those impact your gross margins. Increasing gross retention rates basically helps impact your LTV. So he did a good job of talking about how everything was associated to the balance sheet, and when you're making changes, what those changes impact. I'm sorry, not the balance sheet, but the P&L.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you weren't at the conference, you want to hear more about the P&L, listen to our episode with Dave. I think it was our second episode. It was one of our first guests, one of our early episodes. Kept one of my favorites still, because I think Dave hit that out of the park, right? He really talked about if you're not looking at P&L for a customer success org, you're gonna be out of a job here soon, right? You're just not, you're not looking at it right. You become a service center, and it's gonna be all cost. And he was great. So it's cool that they leveraged Dave when you were there. It's too bad Dave. I'm sure Dave. I know Dave's over in Europe, so he probably didn't make a guest appearance. But that would have been cool to meet Dave as well.
Yeah.
So you're okay. So St. Louis, good trip back in Atlanta. The good news is I don't want to share too much here, Kev, but you were able to line up some guests that are going to be coming on the show. Is that accurate?
I was, and yeah, we've got some good and exciting guests coming up. I think I want to hold off on announcing.
No, let's wait. We got to keep coming back. That's you gotta. We don't want to tee it up too much, but audience, in case as you're listening, Kevin did share the list with me prior to the show. It's deep. We got to get him to a conference every week. We'd have guests every couple of days if we get him out to a conference every week. So you did a great job, Kev. So kudos on your recruitment. We need you for the recruit for my Pitt football, my Pitt Panthers in football. If you get if you get those kind of results, Kevin, at a conference, man, you need to be recruiting for us.
Yeah, well, hopefully. Actually, I can't comment on. I can't make that comment about my team.
No. We start talking about that, but we're going to go to a whole different rabbit hole, and this is going to take a new spin. But so, Kev, awesome conference. It sounds like you got to meet guests. You got to hear tons of awesome topics on CS. Lined up a bunch of guests for us. And
yeah, it was a great conference. Yeah, really enjoyed it. Roman, I know we got one more announcement we're going to make here.
We are. What are we announcing, Kev?
I'll give you the date, and actually, I probably just told you.
Yeah, I know. So you're right. On May 31st, right? Is that the day, Kev? I'm thinking of May 31st in Atlanta. Kevin and I are going to be hosting our customer success playbook pickleball event. So if you're in the Atlanta area, if you're in the southeast, I don't know, come on down. It's going to be Friday afternoon. We're going to send out check out our LinkedIn pages. We're going to be announcing it here soon. RSVP, check it out. If we welcome all levels, it's more for the networking than it is for the actual pickleball. But get a paddle. If you don't have one, I'm sure we can find you one. It should be an awesome event. Pickleball is a great, super fun way to meet people, be a little bit active, and have a great afternoon. So I'm looking.
Yeah, and even if you've never done it before, it's not that hard to learn. Come on out. We'll get you into a game.
Come on out. Again, you'll meet awesome people. We've already had a lot of people RSVP and let us know they're interested. So I'm excited for that. So yes, the first of hopefully many Atlanta customer success playbook pickleball games. So who knows? Maybe that'll be a thing for us moving forward.
Sounds good. We might have to host them around the nation.
I'm all in, man. I'm all in on a pickleball customer success pickleball tour. We'll go to St. Louis, man. I didn't know Game Site was founded out in St. Louis, so maybe that's our next stop. We'll go to St. Louis. We'll play a little pickleball and go see a Cardinals game or something. It'll be awesome.
It sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, hey, Kev, thanks for sharing all the details of the trip. Lots of guests upcoming, so make sure you subscribe to our podcast feeds. Check out our YouTube page. Check us out on LinkedIn at Roman Trebon, at Kevin Metzger. We also have a LinkedIn customer success playbook page as well. Kev, you're doing a great job with the video feeds now. We got video feeds in there. It's looking great. So you've taken the LinkedIn page to a new level. So check it out. And with that, Kev,
keep on playing.
So tune in now and join the quest. Kevin and Roman put you to the test, empowering your journey in customer success. With insights and wisdom, you'll be the best.